this year, they'll still hammer the tops of turnips.
Oh yeah,
in the early
yeah,
season.
they'll love the. Hey, Jim Hardy, what's up, buddy? How are you? Jim Hardy from Archery Addicts 365.
Nice.
He's on there.
Good group, good guy. He gave away my surprise on my post the other day. It wasn't much of a surprise. I think most people.
There's been a lot of leakage out there, you know.
Yeah, most people kind of knew what I was leaning to anyway.
Speaking of, that's new toys are always fun.
Yeah.
New toys are always fun.
Which I guess we can move into that right now.
Yeah, sure. We've got some peanut gallery action happening down here.
Yeah, this is the most vocal they've been all day, obviously. But I'm just gonna grab this thing.
Yeah.
I can't keep my hands off of it.
New toys for big boys, as they say. So.
Yeah. Hello, beautiful.
Yeah, no, right. Get out the way.
But
finish cleaning the dishes.
What I've got here, this is the Elite Archery, the Ritual.
Yeah.
This is their flagship bow this year. And this model is in OD green, outdoors green. And I could talk about some of the accessories I went with. It doesn't have a sight on it right now. We had a little mishap with the sight. I got sent a single pin, and what I'm putting on this bow is going to be the CBE, the Tech Hybrid 3.
Yeah.
So it's a 3-pin. So you've got 2 fixed pins and then a roaming third pin.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like
option.
the best of both worlds. I was never a single pin guy. It just didn't make sense to me in a hunting situation. We talked a little bit about that.
That's it.
Earlier.
I had a single pin for a while, but I was using that more for shooting 3D and messing around for that kind of style because you're usually shooting at a known yardage, and it can be helpful there. But that's just, I mean, I told you earlier in the year I went down to the Harrisburg farm complex to the Sportsman show and shot that bow, and I had to check with the guy twice to make sure it was actually a 70-pound bow. I could not believe how easily that drew at 70 pounds. And
it's
just let me shoot it out in the yard here a few minutes ago, and yeah, it's dead nuts, man.
This bow is
I'm impressed with it.
You've heard me gushing over it since I got it. I can't say enough about this yet, and I know it's early, but I mean it is just there are just so many positives to this bow. I haven't found a negative yet, so I mean it's still early, but as a lot of people know, I was shooting an Expedition Eccentric.
Yeah.
And that bow, when I bought that bow, my mindset was I wanted speed.
Yeah.
It was all about speed, which that bow definitely delivered. You know, it's still one of the fastest bows on the market. But, you know, the more I shot, the more different things became important to me, and the draw cycle on this bow absolutely trumps the Expeditions.
Sure. I mean, I shoot the Hoyt Spider Turbo, and it's way better than the Hoyt. I mean, you know, those faster cams, you're going to get, it's kind of trying to find that happy medium. You know what I mean? With a faster cam, you're going to get that high-end speed, but you're going to kind of give up a little bit of feel on that. But the wall on that is impressive. I mean, everything about it, I'm pretty impressed with it for. And the cool thing about Elite with that bow is they kind of got themselves right back into the affordable market.
Yeah.
You know, you look at some of these flagship bows from some of the bigger companies, the Hoyts, the Matthews, you know, the Bowtechs, they're pricing themselves right out of the blue collar market.
Yeah.
So by keeping a bow, I mean, still it's not an inexpensive bow by any means, but it's definitely much more reasonable than.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you're looking
what we're
at
seeing out there for flagship bows.
Yeah, you're looking
at a little outrageous.
At the Triax, I think is starting at like 1,400 or something like that, which is insane. That's
some of the
bare
Redworks
bow.
bows are. I mean, and there's no doubt that the amount of engineering that's going into these new bows is just tremendous. But you know, again, you know, I'm a blue collar guy. You're a blue collar guy. And I mean, a lot of these guys out there, you know, they can't buy a brand new bow every year and drop, you know, anywhere from $1,200 to $1,500 on a new bow. So, you know, I think Elite really did something right with the Ritual and keeping that right in the wheelhouse for a lot of guys. But even some of the other Elites that they have out was the one they have that's the name of it was more like a military based Recruit or something like that. Recruit. Or I apologize if I'm saying that wrong, but they have some lower end bows that are actually really Really sweet bows. I checked them out at like I said, at the farm show.
Right.
There wasn't I couldn't get close to some of the other bow makers. I mean, there was quite a crowd around them. But I went on a weekend, so you kind of have to expect that with the farm show. It's the biggest outdoor show in the world, and it's right here in PA. So when you get down there, it's tough sometimes to get close to what you want to see, especially on a weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like Nathaniel Hatton. Yeah. He's kind of give a little compliment on there.
Speaking of Nate, he's responsible for it. It just blows my mind. We were talking about this before.
Yeah.
Nate set up this bow for me, and we did this all remotely through the internet.
Yeah, I got to give you props, Nate, because I worked in a pro shop all through college, and Mark and I had a discussion a couple weeks ago about whether or not I would be comfortable setting a bow up for somebody off-site, and I was like, nope.
Yeah, but
I'd rather have the person right in front of me. But yeah, he did a hell of a job setting that up for him. Sight unseen, really, with Mark. I mean, just taking some measurements and putting that together. It's something that I haven't been in a pro shop in that capacity in probably 15 years, but it's still, a lot of the basics, the 101 type stuff is still the same. And to set that up as well as you did, and
it's unbelievable. I gave him my draw length, the peep distance, and that was pretty much about it. From there, he went with it. They're knocking our camera around.
Oh, geez.
But
they're
Anyway, the dogs
boys are wrestling.
Dogs are a handful tonight. But Nate works for a shop. I believe it's is it Chilicothe, Ohio? Is that how you pronounce it?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
It's in Ohio. Yeah. The shop name is Detty Outdoors, and I just gave him the draw length, the peep distance, and the bow fits me like a glove. It is absolutely flawless. He tuned it for me, paper tuned it for me, sent me the shots of the paper tuning, and the thing is just firing flat lines. It's unbelievable.
Well, there you go, man. No pressure this year.
So, no pressure at all. On top of that, Bridget also got a Ritual.
Yep.
So now
I got a peek at that one too.
So now this is somebody who never shot a bow before. I took her measurements, did the same thing. Nate nailed that as well. Draw length is perfect, peep height is perfect. She's right on. So, this is I don't know. It's a new age, I would say, for pro shops.
Yeah, I guess.
If they can nail that down, that just opens up a whole new market.
Sure.
It's unbelievable. I'm truly blown away at how this turned out, honestly.
Yeah, that's great, man. I'm impressed with it as well. Because like I said, I can't help when I see, there's a couple people I follow on social media, on YouTube and stuff like that, like the Hushin guys. They always, every year they get a new Hoyt and they do the whole setup video. I can't help but watch that stuff. Because having a background and working in a pro shop, you get a kick out of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So, that's pretty sweet that he was able to knock that out of the park like that, sight unseen. So, that's impressive.
And I honestly can't say enough about the bow yet. I always said that if I wasn't shooting an expedition, when I had an expedition, that I would shoot an Elite.
Yeah.
And I was right about that. I'll just say that because the bow is it's unbelievable. So my expedition was maxed out at 65 pounds, and this bow is easier to draw, smoother to draw at 70 pounds.
Yeah.
That
was the thing I was most impressed about with it when I shot down in Harrisburg, the draw cycle, and I was like, wow. Yeah, I was impressed with it. So, and I shoot, like I said, the Hoyt Turbo. So that's got it beat hands down for draw cycle and for back wall. Yeah. So I love my Hoyt. Don't get me wrong. I shoot that thing as much as humanly possible. Right now I'm on a break with it. I got to dial in a couple different things. I had to change out some of the accessories. But we're getting back on track with it, and I love shooting it. But you definitely have to make a bit of a compromise with those high-end cams, and I want to say high-end, those faster cams. Trying to let down after you've become the full draw for a few minutes. Trying to let down on one of those bows, man, it can be a bit of a challenge. Yeah. They want to run on you. But yeah, dude, it's It's a pretty sweet bow, man. I'm excited for you. See how it plays out for you this year.
Yeah, I could talk about some of the accessories that I decided to go with. I've got on Bridget's bow, I stuck with Trophy Ridge.
Yeah.
Pretty much Trophy Ridge stuff. It's always been good to me. I've never had a failure on any of their equipment. So
Always been a big fan myself.
yeah, I set her up with I think it was a 3-pin cipher is the sight.
Yeah.
It's just a standard 3-pin sight, just a beginner. I put the the Trophy Ridge stabilizer on her bow.
Sure.
And she's actually going to shoot the QAD drop away rest. I'm
Okay.
not sure which one it is, but it's a pretty sweet little rest.
Yeah. Yeah, I almost went that route myself. I'm running a Whisker Biscuit now because I wanted to give it another try. I shot Whisker Biscuit back when Carolina Archery Products invented the Whisker
Yeah.
Biscuit, before they got bought out by Trophy
Right.
Ridge. But there was no opening in it. You had to feed it through, it was the original Whisker Biscuit, and I loved it. But so now I'm back to it. I had an issue with the fall away rest that was kind of failing on me, so I wanted to change it up and went to the Whisker Biscuit. So the QAD was next on my list to see
Yeah.
if it was gonna work out. So far I'm still digging the Whisker Biscuit. I'm having an issue with my sight now. It's just always something.
Yeah.
I'm just hard on my stuff though. I'm hard on my equipment, no question.
Yep.
So now I'm trying to get that dialed in, and we'll see. Hopefully I'm back to shooting again in a couple of days here, and getting that dialed in because the season, as of today, is only 6 weeks away, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. And it
crazy.
seems like I've got something going on every weekend until then.
Oh, I know. I'm like trying to figure out when I'm going to be able to squeeze in, hang in some stands.
Hang
and,
a tree stand
yep.
or I didn't get my food plots planted. They're dead.
Yeah.
They're sprayed. They just need to be burned and tilled.
Yep.
I don't know.
Well, the rain we've been having, those of you who are
Stupid.
from the Northeast PA region, man, oh man, we've been getting crushed with rain lately, man. Flooding, it's been pretty brutal. So, and it was raining. I was coming on my way up here to you tonight, and we were just getting hammered. I mean, I drove right through a sheet of water. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it hasn't been easy in that regard. A lot of the natural food is growing like weeds out there.
Yeah, that's the one nice thing. We're gonna have nice juicy apples come
Yep.
archery season.
I just took a picture and posted it up on Black Rock about the
Yeah.
apples that I was finding. So, the apples are really looking good this year. So hopefully everybody else out there is having a good crop because that's going to be clutch early season.
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
Yeah, it's coming quick, and
yeah, we'll be here before you know it.
yeah, hopefully I know I'll be able to find time to shoot that bow because even without a sight on it, I've just been driving
Just
arrows from
Going
like
out
10
and,
yards.
dinging a couple arrows in
it-
every once in a
The
while.
draw cycle on that thing is just stupid.
It is. It's great. It's great. It's very impressive.
I'm so excited for it. As for some of the accessories on my bow, I went with the CBE Torx hunting stabilizer kit.
Yeah, I saw that. I was kind of intrigued by that. I've never
Yeah.
gone with like a
Little-
side stabilizer, the back side stabilizer. Never
Yeah.
never messed with one. But yeah, for what you're gonna do with your stabilizer, I'm not your stabilizer, your quiver.
Yeah, I always shot with my quiver off, and I think I'd like to become more versatile just in anticipation of the coming years, possibly, going out for elk or we talked about going to Lanai for axis deer.
Right.
Just to be mobile. If you're going to be mobile like that, you're going to have your quiver on your bow.
That's it.
So
If
that
you're in a tree stand,
sidebar,
it's different. But yeah, like you said, you want to be able to have that.
that's going
mobile
to,
like that.
stabilize you out.
Sure.
And,
Especially at distance, and that's what if you're going to travel to those places, you're going to need to be able to reach out at distance to 50, 60 yards.
and that was kind of my thought with this bow. I think it's going to help me a lot with longer distance. A little bit longer axle to axle. I think I've got maybe an inch. It's 33 1/4.
Okay.
So the
That's
bow,
a good compromise. That's a really good happy medium right there.
yeah. So I think it's going to help me out a lot with the shooting distance. A little bit heavier with the stabilizer. I think that's also going to be big. On top of that, I think I'm going to move to a little bit of a heavier arrow. And
Yeah.
some of the arrows I've been looking at are actually smaller diameter too. So
Did you decide on an arrow already?
uh,
You're kind of considering a few.
I've got a couple different contenders. I'm looking at the Black Eagle Deep Impacts.
Very cool.
I know that the Black Eagle Spartans are a smaller diameter arrow, and I've heard a lot of good things about those. And then I've also been looking at the Full Metal Jackets, the Eastons.
Yeah, I used to shoot the FMJs, and they're awesome arrows.
Everyone
man.
swears by them. I feel like you can't really go wrong with them.
Yeah, they have the 6mm ones, like the smaller diameter ones. I shoot the Black Eagle Carnivores now, and I really like those. I was shooting the Easton Hex. They're great arrows, but they're kind of expensive, so it really kind of hurts when you see that arrow split when you shoot through a deer or through a turkey or whatever, and you see that arrow hit a rock.
Yeah.
It's tough. When you put a broadhead, a $10, $12 broadhead on the end of it, you're looking at like a $25, $30 arrow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the price of venison just went up.
Exactly. So it can be a little bit of an expensive meat missile there, but I mean, I've had a lot of luck with the carnivores. I really like those, but those are more of a standard diameter, and I want to say they're somewhere in the area of like 9.5 grains per inch, so a little on the heavier side. I like to stay, around the 10 grain per inch for a hunting hunting arrow. It deadens the sound
early
of
in the
bow.
podcast for that, man.
I know, right? My glass is half full already.
Yep, that's it. That'll happen.
But I like the heavier arrows. I mean, I like to give up that speed for the kinetic energy, and it takes a lot of the vibration and it dampens the sound coming out of your bow too. So
yeah, like I was saying, when I first started with my expedition, I was all about speed, and it's kind of funny how my thought process has changed in what I actually want out of the bow. So I want to move to heavier arrows, and I feel like kinetic energy, you really can't beat it. That's the saying goes.
Yep.
Kinetic energy kills.
That's it. The heavier the arrow, I mean, you're going to carry that energy with you at target. So that's not a bad way to go. The heavier arrows. I mean, a lot of people like those, to get the arrow there quickly. But when you're looking at a 6-7 grain per inch arrow, man, that's where you. God help you if you hit a shoulder blade. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm looking at getting over 10 grains per inch. Yeah, that's kind of my goal.
It's a good place to be.
Because I think those Black Eagle, the deep impacts are 11 grains per inch.
That's a great happy medium again, and especially, I mean, are you shooting fixed blades this year? You said you're switching to fixed blades, or you still on the fence with that?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that too. I've always been a big mechanical guy, but I've been shooting rocket sidewinders for years, and the one thing I've noticed about them is they're one and done broadheads. You're going to bend a blade. The aluminum tips they just don't hold up.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to try to go for something with a little bit more longevity.
Sure.
Try to go back to fixed blades and not cut myself.
Right.
Which I know that's what's going to happen. I know it.
You got to be careful with them. And
I cut myself on the mechanicals.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, I might stick with the mechanicals. I wanted to go back to fixed blades this year, but I've been having some struggles with my bow, getting it dialed in the way I want it, so I'm running out of time. So if I feel like I got the time to dial in some fixed blades, then I'm definitely going to go that route, because that was my plan. But I ran into a couple issues with some equipment stuff. So and that stuff gets expensive. When you got to swap out a rest, you got to swap out a sight, you got to swap out a couple components. It can really, it can cost you. So we're going to kind of see how it plays out. I'm cool with sticking. I shoot the what's up, buddy?
Dogs are crazy tonight.
Yeah, I know, right?
They're knocking the camera over,
making a presence. Shooting the Wacom's this year. I was going to switch from the Wacom fixed blades to the Wacom expandables to the Wacom fixed blades, because those things are just nuts. I shot them out of my bow last year. I bought a set for my buddy's crossbow, and just for the heck of it, threw them on and shot them. I couldn't believe how accurate they were. Oh no!
Yeah, this is my boast that
he already got
my
to
quick
it.
stand that the puppy just chewed. Good job, buddy.
Yeah, he's on point.
You want to see him? There he is.
There's the man. He's gonna make his appearance.
Go ahead. Speaking of the mic.
Yeah, got a little Oscar, and I've got Aldo over here chilling with me on the side.
Rage in the cage, huh?
Oh, there's.
Oh yeah.